Good morning, everyone. It is Mo from Mo in the Deep End and probably not Friberto because, as on the banner, it is a snow day. Yes, all of the ferals are home. The youngest two ferals are ecstatic because they have a true snow day. Their school is like, just enjoy your snow day. And they are having a great time with that. I do hope that everyone is safe and warm. Thank you, Eris, for all of your Modly Mod duties that you do every morning. And good morning to you. And then good morning, Christine, Little Peanut, Flux, Slinky, AC's Wildflower. Yeah, I hope that everyone is staying warm and safe and all of that. I was not even going to attempt to drive. Good morning, greedy bloke. Yeah, look, it's selfish of me. It's not good parenting, but I was like, wait a minute, I don't have to drive anywhere. I may have a beverage during the day, afternoon, of course, because, I have standards, allegedly, possibly, somewhere. Or not. Good morning, Wolfram and Gigi. So our first story is oh, good morning, Kim and Spirit Matter. Yeah, I was so sad yesterday that I missed the opening or the oral arguments in the Supreme Court, but I can cover that today. Good morning, JKD Buck. And as per usual, a day late is never a problem because I have all the words that, I have all of the opinions. Time never stopped my opinions. Our first story, suspected serial killer Rex Heuermann's lawyer defends his interesting internet searches because, everyone looks up medieval lady torture and weird, gross smexiness. Everyone, like on a Tuesday, as you do. But I mean, who hasn't gone and looked up, incredibly gross things? And then Michael Brown, I would have changed my name. I would have gone with Cher, to be honest, or something else. The attorney for suspected serial killer Rex Heuermann answered a question about the quote, sadistic, end quote, search history prosecutors allegedly found on his client's devices. Investigators said they found dozens of search terms, including torture redhead prawn, girl with face showing abuse, chubby young child crying, Asian twink tied up. Look, again, YouTube gods, this is what this weird Shrek looking guy said, not me. I didn't even put that stuff. Look, all of my Kindle stuff is hilarious stuff that I find and I torture Mr. Mo with. And that is the real basis of our relationship. So don't come at me. That's what he said. Allegedly. According to his lawyer, that's perfectly normal, though. On a burner phone and an email account they seized under a fake name, quote, Thomas Hawk, end quote. They also found more than 200 searches regarding other known serial killers and the Gilgo Beach case itself. Heuermann is now accused of killing 4 women whose remains were found in the brush along a quiet stretch of Ocean Parkway in 2010. Melissa Bartholomé, 24, Megan Waterman, 22, Amber Costello, 27, and Maureen Brainerd Barnes, 25. Oh, Eris, I know. Believe me, I don't even have one of those thingamabobs yet, but I'm not going to get one until they sponsor me. NordVPN, I'm looking at you. Look, I'm a redhead. I don't show my boobs. So allegedly, I'm a great conservative. But I'm not really, I'm a conservatarian, any hoozle. Just sponsor me, seriously. I have a puppy that sometimes shows up in feral children. Anyhoozle, back to the story. Oh, nope, I will never. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Will not do that. But yeah, all of my search history would be like, ma'am, do we even understand how to go incognito? Good morning, Tammy F. I don't think I've seen you here before, so welcome to a Snow Shenanigans Friday newsy news. Quote, searching the internet, ask yourself what search on your computers or what you search on your computers and your phones. End quote, Brown told reporters Tuesday after prosecutors alleged they found a series of queries for violent prawn on Yerman's devices in new court filings. Yes, but see, when I use my burner phones to not allegedly unalive people, I don't also look up weird prawn on those. I have a specific phone for prawn of every type. For the love of all that is holy, sir, I cannot even with you. One thing leads to another. You see a show about something, you start searching, and they talk about how someone got unalived, he said. You start searching, and then they talk about another way, and you start searching. Think about if they looked at your own personal search history, how all of a sudden you're guilty because of your search history. End quote. I mean, yeah, to a point, but I also don't look like Shrek. I also don't have 900 burner phones. My DNA isn't linked to, people that were found unalived on a beach. I mean, his search history is kind of like the least of his worries. I mean, I'd honestly be more creeped out if he was looking up things about the Kardashians. One second here. I have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle question. I hate e-learning days. I don't understand the internet any more than anyone else does. Oh, Fry, don't worry the cats. They're going to beat you up. It's like a circus. Oh, well, okay, looks like things are getting fixed up. So Brown also downplayed the new DNA testing. Good morning, Billy Marie. Sorry. Trying to remember what password it is, because sometimes you have to change your password, and I'm like, oh, where was the file where I told myself that past me assumed future me would remember and be on top of things. And let's just say future me is never as on top of things as past me assumes future me is going to get, but at least past me is positive about future me's ability to be on top of things. Let's see. Brown also downplayed new DNA testing that prosecutors presented as major new evidence in their case against Tierman and revealed detectives had been surveilling his client for a year and a half before they arrested him on July 13th, 2023. Eris, I have gotten we got embarrassingly low amounts of snow. We got less than like I think 2 inches. It's just we haven't had any snow. Look, I am going to go way off tangent here. So when I let Fry out this morning, I don't know how many of you know that I severely want Elon Musk to make a what is it? Oh gosh, not Neuralink, but the other, yeah, I want him, instead of Neuralink, I want him to make like a little dog translator because I may or may not have, since this is the first time that Fry has actually seen snow. I I may have started doing the Doug voice of what's this? What's this? It looks like there is snow. What's this? What's this? It looks like there is snow. I don't know. So I may have like broken into the Nightmare Before Christmas song only in the Doug voice in my mind for Fry. This is what Mr. Mo lives with. So I might have been humming that in Doug voice, which again, Mr. Mo, pray for him, for he is stuck with me. So he is liking it. He's not liking the wind. But yeah, that was my aside and total off tangent. I just thought you would. Good morning. I will probably I'm going to say Matilde, and I will probably very much butcher your name. But thank you for joining us from the Netherlands. Yes, I broke into the full song. I may have added Colombian marching powder and, cocaine instead of snow, but I was on fire this morning at 4 a.m., which might have been why Mr. Mo was looking at me like I had lost my ever-loving mind. DNA schmna. I mean, how do we know if that DNA is even Friberto? We have talked about this. I cannot play with you right now. You can play over by your bed, but I cannot play with you. He's like, I did not discuss these rules. I make the rules. I is cute. I think we understand this. I use my paw to move your hand, and now I win. Yes, I did, Eris. I think I am trying to multitask, and that has only ever worked slightly. But I did send Friberto. Yes, I see. So I did send a message. Well, he's a little confused because everyone's home. And yesterday I went to the dentist and Friberto, no, that is enough. We do not bounce and jump. This is how he does think. He is like, I am Fry. I was just asking for attention. I do not have a voice yet. Thank you, Wolfram. You might want to tell him that cats are Sith. Well, or they might be Jedi. Either way, they're the opposite side and they don't like him right now. So how are you going to explain away DNA, Mr. Defense Lawyer, who looks, well, you look a bit like well, this is a family-friendly show, so I can't say it, but we're all thinking it. Now, Suffolk County District Attorney Ray Tierney said, quote, cutting edge, end quote, advances in SNP testing, the shorthand name for single nucleotide polymorphisms, led to an overwhelming match in the case, and he called that the gold standard. The Gilgo Four, as Herman's alleged victims have become known, were among 11 bodies discovered after the police received a haunting 911 call from Shannon Gilbert in 2010. Oh, Christy Lou, welcome, forensic geologist. Yeah, it looks really interesting, and I am just so amazed with myself and proud of, look, it's a small victory, and I'm going to take it today. But I said nucleotide polymorphisms while sober. So there, I can English once in a while. Police kicked off a search for her near Oak Beach, a few miles to the east, and repeatedly found unrelated bodies. While investigators eventually declared Gilbert's death an accident. Now, there is a lawyer that is representing the Shannon Gilbert family and or her estate, and um, they can they are convinced, and I believe it is fairly likely that she might also be a victim. But right now, her death is still considered an accident. But I do want to put out there that there is still a large group of people that do believe that she might have been one of the very first or last victims, depending on how you look at it. Ooh, interesting. As a non-scienceologist and just a mom who plays with wigs and rants on the internet, your I'm going to take your word for it. Oh, for the love of all that is Cheetos. Okie dokie. The fun of trying to figure out something romantical to do with husband of 13 years while, it's snowy and you're not a people person and you'd really just rather sit at home and watch, young Sheldon together. Romance changes when you've been married for a long time, but you have to figure out how to keep the children from interrupting you every 5 seconds. I think I'm going to get maybe if I get, no, glue traps are illegal, right? Okay. Um, maybe, maybe puzzles and or I'm going to bribe them with candy. We'll set up a fire and we'll watch young Sheldon. Look, romance changes. Eris, there, look, y'all, there is nothing more romantical than trying to get in any sort of smexiness mood to, you know what, today is just going to be a tangent day. Let's be honest. It's a Friday. Go ahead and ask me questions. I'm a mom of 6. We'll try to get news done, but I'm going to tangent pretty much. It was a long evening. The dentist and drilling on the teeth, and they put like 4 fingers in your mouth, then ask you a daggone question with that sucky thing, and they're like, "So how are you doing?" And you're like, and they're like, "Oh, really? How are the kids?" And I'm like, I am trying to ignore the sounds of the drilly bit causing me anxiety and my leg to tweak out. Could you please let me just, listen to my 11-hour EFAP video where they just take the poo out of the Rise of Skywalker? Could you just let me do that? I even have both earbuds in, which I normally don't do, but I am trying to ignore both of all of you. So why? Why won't you just let me do that? But they insist on asking you questions. I'm going to call the Geneva Convention at some point. It has to be torture. Yeah. I don't discount the fact that there might have been multiple killers using the same dumping ground. If you look at it, it's fairly deserted, it's brushy. People aren't going to necessarily go in the brush. If you're local, I mean, you kind of know about it. Just like there were the Hillside Strangler, the Night Stalker, you had the Beverly Hills Boulevard, I think, duo. You had the Toolbox Killers. So you had a bunch of serial killers that were all kind of stalking California, Los Angeles area, all at the same time. So two things can be true at the same time. You can have Shrek and you can have another one. And unfortunately, these women, and I'm glad that they actually just put their names and their ages in this article and gave them the dignity of not, putting Craigslist worker or, whatever they decide to put label, because first and foremost, these women were someone's daughter, someone's sister. They were someone to someone, and I just don't like that. But that's just me ranting. So let's get on with the story. Regardless, the sheer number of bodies in the same general area rattled the community, and the police went years without a suspect before Herman's surprise arrest in July. While the other deaths remain under investigation by a grand jury, Tierney said Tuesday, quote, "With regard to those other bodies and those other murders, the task force will continue to investigate those cases," he added. Uh, so the technical term, I call it, is nebulas of thought. Some people have trains of thought. I have nebulae of thought. So if, of all of the thoughts ranging around in my head, if one connects to the other, then it's, I feel compelled to tell people about it. Allegedly. Again, pray for Mr. Mo. He has to live this 24/7. Now, you guys choose to tune into it, which, hey, I love you for it. Herman faces 3 counts of first-degree murder and 4 counts of second-degree murder. He has pleaded not guilty and is being held without bail and due back in court February 6th. Good morning, Roseman Ranch, or Rossman. There's an area in Texas that's known as the Killing Fields. It's a well-known body dump. Maybe not a single killer's dumping ground. That's kind of, I mean, if you Occam's razor it out, the victims and the change in ethnicity and the man don't quite add up to his particular genre type, if you will. I mean, it could be, since he did look up a twink, so. But it just seems, sorry, Rossman. So it just seems to me that with those differences, it could very well be a couple different people. But I'm not a doctor and or an FBI-ologist, and while I loved pretending I was Clarice, I have never seen a sheep in real life. So, well, I mean, other than like a petting zoo. He bought his childhood home from his mother in the 1990s and moved his family there. Neighbors describe him as a quiet businessman who carried a briefcase to the nearby train station, wearing a 3-piece suit to head to his Manhattan office where he was an architect. John Gary, if I'd gotten chosen for this or for the trial when I was on the jury duty, I would have been in that courthouse at the same time Rex was. Oh, wow. Yes, share the word of Mo with all of your friends. Oh, it actually, holy crap, I'm on fire, y'all. Excuse my French. I should go buy a lotto ticket, but I'm not driving today. I wonder if you could Uber a. No, we're not. In other weird news, but hey, it's Friday. The LA Innocence Project takes convicted wife killer Scott Peterson's case, insists new evidence could exonerate him. He's still a douche. 1 second, I have to yell at feral children. That is the only. I need one of those buzzery things. The Los Angeles Innocence Project is getting behind convicted murderer Scott Peterson, arguing in legal papers that new evidence will show he didn't kill his pregnant wife more than 2 decades ago. He's still a douche that frosted his hair and didn't even correct for the yellow tone in it. It's called purple shampoo, sir. They had it back then. Ugh. You're still a douche. And you still got and did that interview like, look, I don't want to talk about my cheating or anything because it's important to talk about Lacey. Like, sir, you were putting your bait and tackle in someone else and then talking to her during the, vigils and everything else. You, sir, are just a piece of dung. Stop. I mean, you may be innocent of the unaliving, but you're still a crappy person. Maybe you've changed in 20 years. I don't know. Yeah, he did pretend that he was like, no, your officerness, I'm just going close to the Mexican border. It is not, this is not what that looks like. You see, what had happened was I was going to the putt-putt range with my dad, and then I sort of kind of worked my way towards the border. But I mean, that was just a fluke. I mean, who hasn't? Pretty much. Let's see. Peterson, who is serving a life sentence for the murder of Lacey Peterson, received renewed hope Thursday when the legal organization confirmed to outlets it had taken up his case. He was convicted in 2004 of unaliving his wife and their unborn child after Lacey's body was found the year prior. The Innocence Project lawyers argued in a recent court filing that, quote, new evidence now supports Mr. Peterson's long-standing claim of innocence and raises many questions into who abducted and killed Lacey and Connor Peterson, ABC News reported Thursday. Lawyers are now looking for numerous items they couldn't find after combing over his trial files, including evidence from investigations into a December 2022 burglary across the street from where the couple lived, a missing watch that Lacey Peterson wore, and a van fire in the area around the time the mom-to-be went missing, as well as documents tied to witness interviews, the outlet reported. Interesting. The San Elias County District Attorney's Office replied to the nonprofit's request for information late last year, claiming the project's arguments didn't pass muster, the San Francisco Chronicle reported. The DA's special prosecutor, Bridget Fladler, alleged the project intentionally held back information about exoneration efforts. Quote, the fact you have chosen to withhold items you claim to possess that support some of your assertions is troubling, she reportedly wrote. Peterson, 51, has always maintained he was innocent of the murders. Yeah, it does seem pretty thin. I mean, the burglary maybe should have been something that they looked into a little bit more closely. I have looked into that, but unless they have solid concrete, like DNA doesn't put you here, or I, I don't know. I didn't really delve deep into this. I was actually getting drummed out of the military because, as the only military flunky in the family, that is right, I hold a special place of honor. I hurt my ankle, and I was getting ready to get sent back home and figure out what I was in fact going to do with the rest of my life. So I didn't quite get into this case, though I did find Evanescence, the band, which, you know, good things, bad things. It's hard to get the Innocence Project to take a case because so many want their help. So you I'm going to assume there is something there for them to look at. Yeah. It works. So the funny thing is there's always a grander plan. Tangent incoming. I know I have, where is it? I knew I had a stinger for that somewhere. I knew I did. Uh, but the funny thing is, so had I completed all of my training, my MOS, or military occupational specialty, was going to be a lab technician, which was the unit that Mr. Moe was over. And then I would have met him when he was still married. And it would have been really weird, and I would have been his subordinate, and we probably would not have gotten married. So everything worked out the way it was supposed to. Yep. True story. It's like a Hallmark movie almost, only I wasn't baking anything and he wasn't going to foreclose on my house. Though, Hallmark, I will let you pay me for the rights to my story. And welcome, Veilhammer, for lurking. Yeah, this guy looks full of what we call fecal matter, but let's see. His lawyer, Pat Harris, told the Los Angeles Times in a statement he was excited that the LA Innocence Project is, quote, lending their considerable expertise to helping probe that Scott Peterson is innocent. Sure. One juror told ABC News Thursday he supports the fresh review of the case. Quote, if they think they're going to find something different that sheds light on something new, I fully support it. Mike Belsamaria, look, sir, Duct Tape and Holy Water Productions Company, LLC, TM, and all trademarks reserved. What the hell is that last name? Any hoozle, said, adding he thinks about the case daily. A California judge denied Peterson's bid for a new trial in 2022 after he argued a single juror's bias tainted the rest of the jury when coming to a verdict. Good morning, Ava Fenton. The juror, Rochelle Nice, deliberately hid her own domestic abuse case during jury selection, his lawyer argued, but the judge found no misconduct by her. Peterson was initially sentenced to death, but that punishment was scrapped and he was instead issued a life sentence. The Innocence Project provides pro bono legal help to inmates convicted of crimes in Central and Southern California. So, it's a long shot. I don't know. Go ahead and have a look at the trial info, but I don't know that you're going to find anything. And after all this time, maybe there's evidence. Oh, same. We are souls. We are twinsies today. In other, just Hollywood news, Tekashi 6ix9ine arrested in the Dominican Republic amid domestic violence investigation. I'm sure he was hard to find with all those face tattoos. I don't want to find information about Tekashi 6ix9ine. Look, I'm already worried about my internet history. Rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine has been arrested in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. The 27-year-old, born Daniel Hernandez, was apprehended Wednesday, January. Okay, this is old. I reported on this. But let's hear it again. Wednesday, January 17th, in relation to domestic violence charges, according to the Associated Press. Hernandez is scheduled to appear in court on Thursday, January 18th, where a judge is expected to determine his status while the DV investigation continues. Squaw Bob, I believe those are a series of ridiculously large and humorously expensive rings. Or they could be fakes. Allegedly, Mr. 6ix9ine, I would never want to assume the authenticity of your ridiculous jewelry. The rapper will either be remaining in jail or released on bond. The Dominican Republic National Police last had a run-in with Hernandez in October when the rapper was arrested on suspicion of beating two music producers, as one does. Look, he was probably in a creative flow and they were trying to talk to him about taxes. Like, what do you want to take out on your W-2? Are you doing single withholding? I mean, how many baby mamas? I mean, and he was like, I'm in a flow. I've got, all of this to do. And as you do, you just get a little titchy. Or you're just a weird human being, sir. Get it under control. Good morning, Will Magic. And Squab Pop. Oh, good Lord. Authorities had obtained a warrant to arrest Hernandez, and he ultimately agreed to surrender to the police over the phone. Hernandez has not previously been arrested for charges related to DV, but in 2019, the rapper admitted to years of domestic violence spanning from 2011 to 2018 in a cooperation agreement with the government at a pretrial hearing in New York. Hernandez had pleaded guilty to 9 federal counts in a racketeering case and was aiming for a reduced sentence. Hello, Bobby Baloney. The rise and fall of Tekashi 6ix9ine was chronicled in a Rolling Stone feature in 2019 prior to this admittance. At the time, with a focus on the racketeering charges and the rapper's involvement with the 9 Trey Bloods prison gang, his then criminal defense attorney, Lance Lazaro, told the Rolling Stones, quote, Danny liked to present the image of being a gangster to sell his music, but my client is not a gangster. Have you been talking to Rex Heerman's lawyer? I mean, you guys are going to have to put on a little bit more of a show than like, look, he was a good boy. He was selling Bibles. But he was using the rap musics to sell Bibles. I mean, I have never seen something more hilarious. Good morning, Hey Joe and Sarah Adams. Late is fine. It's a snow day today. I have never seen anything more hilarious than Young Thug's lawyer talking about thug life, trying to make it an acronym. Sir, Sir, look, I know I look young, but I was not born yesterday. What in the actual heck are you trying to sell me there? So, looks like he'll be sitting in the Dominican Republic clink for a while. Sad, sad. Fannie Willis is going to, I don't know how you do this, but Fannie Willis is going to get her, not man's wife, you know, out of the house so he doesn't interfere with the Trump case. Or she doesn't. Now, let me just say, ma'am, I applaud your effort to get the other woman away from your not man, but this is fairly obvious. And I don't think you can do this. And what the actual heck? But I'm not a lawyer, so let's read the article because I'm sure this will all make sense once we read the article. I'm sure it's not going to look like a bunch of BS. Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis is alleging the estranged wife of one of her deputies, with whom Willis is accused of having an affair, is interfering with the former President Donald Trump's Georgia election interference case. Ma'am, if I were wearing a hat, I would doff it to you. I would doff my hat to you because this has to be the most brass ballsiest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, not only do you go to church pre-Martin Luther King Day to say it is an ist-phobic plot against you, that someone is talking about the fact that you are, whining and dining maybe a maritally estranged man and, using taxpayers' money allegedly to do so. But now you sent a cease and desist to the other woman? Ma'am, I don't agree with you and anything that you're doing, not on political basis alone, but just moral and other stuff. But brass fallopian tubes go to you because holy crap, you have done, if I were going to, well, but in her mind, the other woman, but she's done. By power of the state, you shall never see the man again. Oh, good Lord. Brass fallopian tubes. One second. Let's see here. In court filings, Willis said, quote, defective subpoena, end quote, seeking to depose her was conspicuously coordinated with pleadings in the election interference case, end quote. The same day and within hours of Jocelyn Wade's public request to depose Willis as part of divorce proceedings involving Fulton County Special Prosecutor Nate Wade, quote, the subpoena for the deposition of the district attorney is being sought as in an attempt to harass and damage her professional reputation. Willis's lawyer, Clinique Axum, wrote in court documents. It's also being sought in an unreasonable manner to annoy, embarrass, and oppress the deponent. How in the hell do you oppress the district damn attorney? Because I'm going to need to know, because look, as a citizen of America and the government becoming more and more ridiculous, in full Dale Gribble voice, I'm just asking for a friend. But if this is all it takes, I'll depose the whole effing lot of you. Quote, defendant Jocelyn Wade has conspired with interested party in the criminal election interference case to use civil discovery process to annoy, embarrass, and oppress, Attorney Willis documents said. The Associated Press did not report bollocks, but I guess they can't. Reported that Jocelyn Wade's lawyer, Andrea Hastings, said that they want to help her, quote, resolve her divorce fairly and privately, and that any response to Willis's motion will come in a filing with the court. The same day that Jocelyn Wade tried to subpoena Willis, an attorney for Michael Roman, the defendant in the election interference case, filed two motions, one to unseal the Wade's divorce matter and the other to disqualify Willis and Nathan Wade from the election interference case, alleging conflict of interest among the lawyers. I mean, you can't, wait a minute, I can't hire my boyfriend when I become Empress of the world? I'm pretty sure I can. Look, I'll make my own rules up. Yes. The New York Times reported that Roman's lawyer had said that sealed court documents in the pending divorce case contained documentation of Wade's relationship with Willis. Willis sought to quash the deposition notice, saying the deposition, quote, is not reasonably calculated to lead to the discovery of relevant or admissible evidence. End quote. She also cited a Georgia ordinance that says, quote, protective orders for certain high-ranking members of a government body or public-private entity provides that a, quote, good cause for a protective order to prohibit the deposition of an officer may be shown by proof that such a person is an officer and lacks unique personal knowledge of any matter that is relevant to the subject matter involving the pending action. What in the... I need an ordinance to protect me when I don't feel like doing stuff. I'd put that in the plus column, even though it's weird. Just be like, woohoo! Okay. How is, allegedly doing the naked hokey pokey with a dude lack personal knowledge of a relationship? How does that compute? Quote, more importantly, District Attorney Willis, quote, lacks unique personal knowledge of any matter that is relevant to the subject matter involving the pending action. I believe if you sleep with someone's husband and then cause a divorce and then they're getting a divorce. Now, I'm no Daryl Brooks with the legal law, but I allege that could be a factor. And defendant Jocelyn Wade has not alleged otherwise, the motion reads. Indeed, the deposition of District Attorney Fannie T. Willis cannot provide unique personal knowledge of any matter that is relevant to defendant Wade's divorce because on information and belief, the plaintiff filed for divorce on November 2nd, 2021 on the grounds the marriage was irrevocably broken. And on November 30th, 2021, the defendant answered and agreed the marriage was irrevocably broken. Willis also said the subpoena for the deposition notice was improperly served and, quote, fails to indicate topic, states, or subject which the deposition is to cover. It further fails to state the means by which the deposition shall be recorded. Willis said the defendant made no specific request for information from her, but added, quote, if, however, media reports are any indication the defendant may intend to ask questions regarding the nature of any relationship with the plaintiff. Because the parties agree that the marriage is irrevocably broken and the concept of fault is not at issue, there is no information that district attorney there is no information that District Attorney Willis could provide that might prove relevant to granting or denying the divorce. Thus, any information sought by from District Attorney Willis would be irrelevant to the divorce proceedings pending this court. It- it- you can't actually believe the words that you are writing. You cannot believe the words you are writing on the paper, and if you do, I have some bridges, I have a for-profit charity, and I have just a personal Venmo page that I'd like you to pay to, actually. Forget the for-profit charity. What in the world? She said the sought-after deposition is, quote, out of scope of the pending divorce action and the scope of discovery. Quote, on information and belief, defendant is using discovery as a vehicle to harass non-party deponent Willis. Court documents said the sought-after deposition of District Attorney Willis is not relevant to the subject matter involved in the pending action and should not be permitted. Defendant Joyce Wade's failure to identify a relevant purpose for the sought-after deposition suggests that it is intended to harass. Willis said that as early as 2017, before Nathan J. Wade met Willis, he and Jocelyn Wade agreed that their marriage was, quote, irrevocably broken after defendant Jocelyn Wade confessed to an adulterous relationship with the plaintiff's longtime friend. Okay, well, y'all are just a bunch of cheating cheaters who cheat. I can't help. What is going on in Georgia? European Georgia, are you still willing to exchange for America, Georgia? I'm willing to negotiate a treaty with the government's help. Hatch Act. I will. He's actually out watching the snow. I need to set up. Mr. Moe almost finished up the mobile Moe station so I can sit by the fire. I keep getting, tangented, like by cleaning and laundry and people continuing to want to get fed. So every time I think I'm going to get things set up, I have a new chore. Well, he keeps going with youngest, most feral. So every time I think I've got him back, he goes somewhere else. Let's see if, oh, there he is. Yes, and I got a new rug because the fluffy one kept tripping me. New things you have to deal with. Oh, they love the fire. If we have the fireplace, oh, dear. He's like, I have chicken. I will ask you to play with it in 1 second. You have 6 minutes, Mom. And our last story, and if maybe you had a rough week, Friberto, you are killing me here. You're killing me, Smalls. And if you don't know what that, zoom out, that movie's from, I don't know. I love The Sandlot. If you've had a bad week, and, maybe you have, maybe you didn't have this bad a week. Passenger trapped in airplane bathroom for entire flight gets a note from attendant. Quote, "Sir, we tried our best." End quote. Thought sitting in the middle seat was rough? A Spice Jet passenger had the crappiest flight experience ever after getting trapped in the lavatory for nearly the entire flight. Sandlot is a classic. I'm wondering if Spice Jet is like Spirit Airline. Uh, Fry was labeled as a Pomsky. As you can see, he resembles none of that. Well, that's what if I ever get to 5,000, I haven't told Mr. Mo about this because let's be honest, he'd probably cry. But uh the youngest, most feral, and I have decided that if I reach 5,000, we're getting a corgi for Fry. I know, but Spice Jet sounds like the Spirit airline of a different origin. Oh, thank you so much. Although Wolfram Fry ate my tags. He got into them, ate the rubber band, and then destroyed them. It's just he just will not respect authority of anything. But now he keeps asking my husband, when are we getting a corgi? And I'm like, would you be quiet if we're going to sneak this past your father, allegedly, or I'm going to soften him up? You need to allow me to work my feminine magic on him, not your annoying child magic on him, which is just asking when we're getting a corgi all the time. Like, I have to be subtle and plant the idea over many years. And he's like, I can be subtle. I'm like, I'm like, youngest, most feral, you have not even lived in a zip code even close to a city in the land of subtle. There is not one way. And thank you, Sarah Adams. Yeah, no, he was like, "Yeah, I can be Suggle all the time. I'm the biggest Suggle you've ever seen." I was like, "That's not how you say that." And no, no, you're not. But he tries. He does try. He is, yes, he is the most feral with a dog brother. Hey, I need you to be quiet for about 5 more minutes, okay? All right, thanks. Quote, a passenger unfortunately got stuck inside the lavatory for about an hour, the budget airline said in a statement addressing the involuntary downgrade. The unnamed flyer reportedly went to use the lavatory shortly after takeoff on a 1 hour and 45-minute night flight from Mumbai to Bengaluru Tuesday, Indian press report. Thanks, Hey Joe. Oh, fries for fries. He loves those. I'm trying to break him of counter surfing, which is going swimmingly if I'm right there and tell him no. If I am not right there to tell him no, then allegedly he has never heard of this rule. He's like, ice a people. I the Holy God. However, when he tried to leave after doing his business, the door wouldn't open due to a lock malfunction, effectively trapping the passenger inside the bathroom per the statement. Oh God. Oh God, no. Please, Lord, no. I'd be praying to all the things. The crew and other passengers desperately attempted to free the passenger from the outhouse arrest, but to no avail. As a result, he was relegated to the great honey bucket in the sky for nearly the entire flight. Oh, the smell, just the smell. Sir, we tried our best to open the door. However, we could not open. Do not panic. We are landing in a few minutes, so please close the commode lid, sit on it, and secure yourself as soon as the main door is open. Engineer will come. Do not panic. They had to send him in a hostage note, but he was held hostage by it was like the old Morse code. Do, 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 do. Sir, we tried our best. Stop. Do, do, do. God. Oh, this is terrible. I should not be thinking all of that. A very good penmanship for whoever's writing. I can't do block writing like that, so in an attempt to calm the passenger during his in-flight encrapment. Okay, New York Times, you can pun just for a little bit. That was amazing. Crew members slid a note under the door, a la FBI negotiators trying to reassure a hostage. His solitary confinement finally ended. Okay, that's enough with the puns. You had a good one and then you killed it. Yeah, you should have just stuck the landing with encrapment, but then you went to confinement, and then it was like it's hard when you see, someone, they stick the landing and there's that little hobble at the end, and the judges are gonna take points off for it. Two engineers boarded the aircraft and broke open the door. They needed two engineers to break open the door. Ghostery, it's Spice Airline. Maybe it's like Spirit Airline where, it's like the Waffle House of the skies. You never know what you're gonna get. Allegedly. Again, Spirit Airlines, if you'd like to sponsor me, I will look, I will sell it as dinner and a flight and a show. As only I can. After which he received immediate medical support. Good God, what did everyone eat? The fumes were that bad. I mean, or he got banged up in the landing, but I'm hoping, in my head canon and the way I imagine this story going, it was fumes. I hope he wasn't seriously hurt. I hope it was just like, really bad, silent but deadly fumes the whole time. And you have my deepest support. I am surrounded by 3 young boys and a husband and a dog and a cat who seem to just really, really did not. Oh my gosh, they just like to toot like it's their job. So I hope he didn't get hurt, but oh my gosh. I don't know. You can probably hear that you're not supposed to smoke, so I'm guessing, but I don't know if you can smoke on SpiceJet. Well, there you have it. That is the news. We have a snow day. I have small boyish children. and a Frybert. I am surrounded by the Toots all the time. And a Thorbert who eats whatever. Have a wonderful day. I am going to try to record or set up a stream to watch the oral arguments, but I will be honest that getting my teeth done yesterday and the cold front coming in did bother my leg a little bit, so I may be taking it easy today, but I do have a couple videos that I will be putting out, and, I will maybe be popping in on other trials, helping out with other people. And then this weekend, I will be putting up a time for a members only Wigs, the very first inaugural meeting of Wigs Anonymous, because I have just looked at how many wigs I have and realized, holy God, I my name is Mo, and I am fabulous. Have a wonderful day, guys.